Okay, picture this. You're right there at the fish store. You found the fish, perfect for your setup, maybe a community tank, maybe that outdoor pond you've got.
The moment of temptation.
Exactly. And these aren't just any fish. We're talking, based on this experience we're diving into, a group of blue gourami, and they look amazing. Seriously, top-notch coloration, great pattern, form, shape,
Yeah.
everything.
Visually stunning. Checks all the boxes.
You're already flagging down the store owner, ready to get them netted, and then you pause. Something makes you stop.
And that pause, that split second of, hang on a minute,
Yeah.
that's what we're unpacking today. This whole deep dive is about digging into that critical moment.
Right. We're taking a recent kind of high-stakes fish selection story and pulling out the practical, on-the-spot knowledge you need. How to turn that, wow, I want that fish feeling into a quick, smart risk check.
It's about assessing fish health before you buy, not after you get home and things go south.
We're using these blue gourami as our case study because they looked so good, but one tiny detail screamed, warning, problem in this tank.
Yeah, how to spot those reliable signs that tell you maybe, just maybe, the whole system is compromised, even if most fish look fine.
Okay, so let's get into that immediate red flag. The source material really highlights how perfect these gourami looked initially. That makes it tough, doesn't it? When something looks that good, your critical eye can kind of switch off.
Oh, absolutely. Aesthetics are powerful. The prettier the fish, the easier it is to overlook potential issues. You get emotionally invested almost instantly.
But this person, the hobbyist in our source, they kept their cool. They looked closer, and they saw something specific, something worrying.
Yep. The crucial observation. One fish, just one, was breathing heavily and resting on its belly.
Okay, breathing heavily. That sounds a bit vague. What does that actually look like on a fish? Is it super obvious?
It can be once you know what to look for. It means the gills are working overtime, pumping much faster than the other fish in the group. Sometimes you can even see the gill covers, the operculum, flaring out a bit more than usual.
Ah, okay, so it's a visible effort.
Right, it signals respiratory distress. They're struggling to get enough oxygen. Could be gill parasites like flukes, maybe damage from ammonia in the water, or even, severe internal stress from a disease.
And the resting on its belly part, I mean, couldn't it just be tired? Why is that such a big deal?
Well, think about gourami, especially blues. They're generally quite active fish, exploring, interacting. Seeing one just sitting listlessly on the bottom, particularly if it seems to struggle to stay upright or buoyant. That's lethargy. It's a major sign.
Suggests something more serious than just needing a nap.
Exactly. It suggests the fish is using pretty much all its energy just to stay alive, let alone swim around normally. Often points to internal problems, maybe a systemic infection. It's a bad sign.
Right. Okay, here's the question I think everyone listening would have in that situation. You see maybe 5, 6 other gourami swimming around, looking totally fine, active, colorful. Why not just say to the store guy, hey, net me those 5 healthy ones, just skip the sick one? Why let one fish stop the whole purchase?
And that is the core takeaway here. That's the crucial bit of knowledge. Because, as the source rightly points out, that single sick fish isn't just an isolated case. It's seen as a reliable indicator of the overall health of the entire tank population.
Meaning, the problem isn't just that fish.
Precisely. You're not looking at one sick fish in a healthy tank. You're looking at a tank where all the fish have been exposed to whatever pathogen or stressor took that one down. The water itself is compromised.
So the others might look okay now, but they could already be carrying whatever it is, incubating it.
Exactly that. Think of it like finding one moldy piece of fruit in a bowl. You don't just toss the bad one and assume the rest are perfect. Right?
No, you get suspicious of the whole bowl.
Right, because the spores, the bacteria, whatever it is, it's likely already spread. In a fish tank, things like parasites or bacteria can spread incredibly fast. Those other fish, they might be subclinically infected. They don't show symptoms yet.
But the clock is ticking.
The clock is ticking. You buy them, you move them, they get stressed, which lowers their immune response, and boom. 3 days later, your beautiful new fish start showing the same symptoms, or worse, they start crashing.
Okay, wow. That completely changes the perspective. You're not buying fish, you're potentially buying a ticking time bomb.
You're buying risk, and you might be bringing that risk right into your established healthy home tank. A potential disaster.
So, red flag identified. The next logical step, especially for someone who really cares about fish, is, okay, can I fix this? The source mentions they considered trying to salvage the situation, right? Intervention was on the table.
Yes, absolutely. The common thought process. Okay, they look amazing. One is sick. Maybe I can buy them anyway, get them home, and treat them, put them through a solid disinfection and quarantine protocol.
It's the rescuer instinct, isn't it? You see something beautiful in trouble, you want to help.
Totally. And they were prepared, which is important. They actually had a specific treatment plan ready to go. The source mentions using aquarium salt and methylene blue treatment.
Okay, salt and methylene blue. That sounds like a pretty standard, fairly robust approach for dealing with common external issues, right? Like ick, or maybe some fin damage, fungus.
It is. It's a good prophylactic treatment, especially in quarantine. Methylene blue helps prevent secondary fungal infections on wounds or stressed fish, and salt can help with osmoregulation and deter some external parasites.
So why didn't they go for it? They had the plan, the meds. Why reject that seemingly solid approach? What made it not good enough in this case?
That's a really sharp question, and it gets to the heart of their decision-making. Remember the specific symptoms they observed.
Heavy breathing and resting on the bottom. Lethargy.
Exactly. Those symptoms aren't typically the prime targets for salt and methylene blue. While those treatments are great for surface issues, heavy breathing and severe lethargy often point towards something deeper.
Like internal bacteria. Or those gill flukes you mentioned.
Precisely. Systemic bacterial infections, serious internal issues, or maybe advanced gill parasite infestations that are already causing significant damage and respiratory distress. Salt and methylene blue, they're just not that effective against those kinds of deep-seated problems.
So it's like trying to put a Band-Aid on a serious internal injury. It might look like you're doing something, but you're not hitting the root cause.
That's a great analogy. They recognize that even with that treatment plan, the odds weren't great if the problem was internal or already advanced. They'd be fighting an uphill battle against an unknown, potentially serious internal issue. The chance of success was just too low.
Okay, so the treatment wasn't a guaranteed fix, but the real reason they vetoed the purchase, the overriding factor, it came down to protecting what they already had, right?
Absolutely spot on. The decision wasn't just about the low chance of saving those fish. It was primarily driven by past negative experiences and the immense value placed on protecting their existing healthy and stable ecosystem back home.
That phrase really stands out, healthy and stable ecosystem. It highlights what's truly at stake.
It does. Introducing potentially sick fish, even if you quarantine them, always carries a risk. You could cross-contaminate with a net, a siphon, even just water splashing, if you bring some novel pathogen into your established tank.
Where your current fish have no immunity.
Exactly. You could trigger a massive outbreak.
Yeah.
All that work you put into creating that stable environment. Perfect water parameters, mature biological filter, thriving fish could be wiped out.
Suddenly, that beautiful gourami doesn't seem worth the gamble. The stability of the home tank is way more valuable.
Far more valuable. And that's the core insight here. They did the calculation. The effort, the cost, the stress of trying to treat these fish, plus the non-zero risk of catastrophe in their main tank.
Yeah.
It was simply not worth the risk.
It's that moment of discipline, isn't it? Choosing long-term stability over short-term desire. Impulse control for fish keepers.
That's a perfect way to put it.
Yeah.
It's responsible fish keeping in action.
Okay, so buying and treating was out. Too risky. What was the alternative? What was the strategic move forward that didn't involve bringing those fish home immediately?
The strategy was elegant in its simplicity, really. It leveraged time as the primary tool for risk assessment.
You mean just waiting?
Essentially, yes. The plan was, as the source states, to wait a week or two and revisit the store.
Okay, a week or two. What does that waiting period actually achieve? What are they hoping to see, or maybe not see, when they go back?
It acts like a natural diagnostic period. Most common serious fish diseases, bacterial infections, parasites like ache or velvet, they usually have an incubation period and progression timeline. If a tank is genuinely compromised, odds are that within 1 or 2 weeks.
More fish will start showing symptoms, the problem will become more obvious.
Exactly. If they went back after, say, 10 days and now 3 more gouramis were lethargic or clamped fins were visible, or maybe that original sick one was gone, well, their initial suspicion is confirmed. The tank is unhealthy. Decision made. Walk away.
So the wait clarifies the situation. It lets the potential problem reveal itself more fully across the group.
Precisely. Time becomes your ally in gathering more data.
And the condition for actually buying them on that return visit, what's the green light look like?
The condition was very clear. They would only purchase if the fish remain healthy and available.
Right.
The key word there is remain. They weren't looking for fish that got sick and then recovered. They were looking for sustained, consistent health across the entire group.
That's an important distinction. Not recovery, but the absence of disease signs over that period.
Yes. If they return and the entire group looks active, vibrant, eating well, no heavy breathing, no listlessness,
Mhm.
then the risk profile drops significantly. It suggests that maybe the first fish was an isolated issue, or perhaps the store dealt with the problem effectively. But seeing sustained health is the crucial factor.
So for you listening, this is a strategy you can use for any fish purchase, really. That discipline to pause even when you see something you love because of one small worrying sign. And then having the patience to wait, to use that week or two as an observation period. It's a powerful way to protect your home setup.
It really is. Patience isn't passive here, it's an active strategy. It's probably the single best defense you have against introducing disease and causing a potential tank crash. Prevention beats cure almost every time in this hobby.
Okay, let's wrap this up. We started with those beautiful blue gourami. The big lesson was learning to look past the wow factor and zoom in on those critical health signs, the heavy breathing, the resting on the bottom.
And understanding that one sick fish is often a warning sign for the entire tank. It's not just about that one individual.
Then we saw the wisdom in resisting the urge to rescue them through immediate treatment, even with things like methylene blue on hand. Why?
Because protecting the established, healthy, stable ecosystem you've already built is paramount. That stability is precious and hard-won. It outweighs the desire for that new fish, almost always.
Which leads us to a final thought, something for you to chew on next time you're browsing the tanks at your local fish store. We've established that protecting your stable home tank is the top priority.
Right.
So, when you're assessing a tank you're considering buying from, maybe after doing that wait and see for a week or two, how much weight do you put on seeing a total absence of any illness signs versus, say, seeing a group where maybe one or two were sick but seem to have recovered?
That's a really interesting question.
Mm,
Is a tank that seemingly never had a problem inherently safer, a better indicator of true stability than a tank that faced an issue and apparently overcame it?
yeah. Is the proof of stability the complete lack of trouble, or is it the demonstrated ability to bounce back? Something to think about in terms of prevention versus cure when you make that final purchase decision.
Definitely food for thought. Okay, until the next deep dive.